Brentford 3, Nottingham Forest 2. And now I would say this was probably my favourite game of the season. Leaving the stadium, I felt so happy. And leading into the game, there was so much Sky Sports like build up around Tony because it was Monday Night Football, and it was absolutely huge.
Yeah, during the warm up, there were just like loads of cameras swarming Tony, all pointing at him, which I've never seen at a game before. There's so much build up to this game.
Yeah, and he put a lot of pressure on himself. You know, he was talking a lot before the game about how he's going to return well, score loads of goals. And so he put the pressure on himself by getting into the game. After all the build-up, first minute or two, I think it was Murillo, edge of the box. And it's just not a great start. And I think the worst part was Flecken's literally on the left side of his goal. The shot goes to his left side. Like I don't know how he didn't save that one. That's probably one of his worst moments of the season. But moving on, Ivan Toney makes it 1-1 with a free kick.
There's a good free kick slotted to the right side of the goal. There is a bit of controversy of whether we're like moving the ball, but you see the replays, the keeper saw it and didn't move. So I'd say that's his fault and it's fair game.
I think the wall and the keeper, they literally saw him do it. They didn't tell the referee. They didn't do anything about it by moving their wall. And so it was really just an easy finish for Tony. But I was so happy for him to get his goal back. He then went and celebrated with Thomas Frank, which we love to see.
Yeah.
And, it's a controversial goal because he moved the foam and the ball. Surprising Nottingham Forest didn't put out a tweet. You know, I think with their track record, you'd expect Nottingham Forest to put out a tweet.
Yeah, ask the PGM, what's up?
Yeah, but they hadn't got Clattenburg at that point, I guess. But, I mean, and moving on, we then made it 2-1 with a Ben Mee corner. Ben Mee header from the corner. What do you think?
This is third season, isn't it?
Yeah, he scored a few goals. I think Ben Mee's played 50 games for Brentford, and he's got 5 goals. So he's getting a goal every 10 games, which is really good for a centre-back.
It is. What a player he is.
And then, I think it was a Chris Wood header, don't really remember. They made it 2-2. Pretty soon after they made it 2-2, Ben talked to me about this Neil Morpie goal.
It was great. The control, the turn, the volley. It's probably one of the goals of the season at this point.
Yeah, it's incredible. On the turn, on his weak foot as well. I think that's a top quality striker's finish. And there was a VAR check, as there always is. Yeah. It looked like it hit his arm, but actually hit his chest, and he was just like. All the Forest players were like claiming handball, and Morpie's just going up to them, like hitting his arm at them, like
Typical
just to wind them up after it was given as a goal, and like. We love him. I think one of my favourite games of the season. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, all the players seemed more motivated with the return of Tony. It seemed to bring hope back to the squad and
the fans.
Yeah,
I think we were all feeling pretty confident now because there was all this talk of Brentford's going to be in a relegation battle, but then Tony comes back and it's like it's all looking good, especially with the amount of injuries we had at the time. And also, I remember it was either this game or the game after. Gary Lineker's talking about Morpie and Tony as like Batman and Robin, and I loved that duo, Tony and Morpie.
It was good for the few games we had them.
And I think they're both a bit of a wind-up merchant, especially Morpie, but Tony likes that kind of thing as well.
Then carrying the momentum from the Forest win, we went into Spurs away. We started that game pretty well, getting a goal. What do you think of the goal?
It was a bit of a scrappy goal. Neil Morpie, we all love him, and then obviously the celebration, the dart celebration, and then Tony joined in as well, and it really just wound up the Spurs players and the fans, and it probably wasn't a good thing because the crowd was quite quiet that day, as it always is at Spurs, but it did rile them up a bit, and probably helped them get in the game.
Yeah. Then unfortunately they scored 3 within 10 minutes to make the game 3-1, almost ending our hopes for a win.
Yeah, it was like straight after half time, I think, 3 goals 10 minutes, and it's just Brentford, like it's just typical, isn't it?
Yeah, one of those games where we just sat back, went a bit silent.
Yeah, and I think another game where they scored within a minute of our kickoff, which is outrageous. Should never happen.
Yeah.
And also, but then Tony did get one back, made it 3-2. It was a decent finish. Nothing much to say about it. I think that was the biggest talking point is the Morpie-Maddison drama. In the post-match interview, Maddison said, Morpie's copied his celebration because he doesn't score enough of his own goals to have a celebration. But Morpie did hit back quite well, to be fair, after on 9, where he said more career goals than Maddison, less career relegations, and so it was quite funny.
Yeah.
And also, a couple of months later, Morpie got another one back on Maddison when Maddison didn't make the England squad, and Morpie just posted himself with 3 darts, with a dartboard behind him just to wind up Maddison a bit more. But I mean, the winding up isn't the most important thing. The most important thing is the 3 points. We did not get it. Man City at home, a 3-1 defeat. Another frustrating game. Another game where we threw away a lead. I think Neil Morpie made it 1-0, and it was a great goal. It was the Flecken goal kick up to Morpie. Tony held off the centre back, and it was a Flecken assist, which was quite nice.
Yeah, great bit of play from Tony to hold off the defender, let Morpie have a free shot on goal.
And I think this is Flecken's sort of turnaround point within the season. From this point on, he was been pretty solid for the rest of the season. What do you think of Flecken's first half, especially?
Yeah, it was a great performance, having like 18 saves the entire game, practically keeping us in it. It was disappointing though, having Foden score 3 quite good goals to make it a hat trick. But
I remember with Flecken, I think it was the most saves any keeper's made within a first half of the game, and he got an assist in that half, which was pretty good. The frustrating bit is that Foden then got one back before half time. It was like all that hard work just gone right before half time. It was a bit of a dagger in the heart, but then rest of the game, not much else to say. Foden got 2 more goals, and Wolves away, a good win actually. 2-0. I think Norgard and Tony got the goals. I remember Tony actually blanked a lot of the game, to be fair, but he got his goal at the end of the game, which was good.
That's all a striker really needs to do.
Yeah, and also I think just after half time Wolves did equalise, but it was actually marginally ruled out for offside by VAR, which is good. Another VAR decision against Wolves, but really a good win.
Yeah, positive.
Season was felt like we were getting back on track at this point with the Forest win 2 weeks ago, but yeah, good win.
Yeah, and then the Liverpool game, where it wasn't really a good result. Not much we could have done too much.
Yeah, I think Nunes scored a good chip, to be fair to him, but it was not a good day. I think it was a Sunday. It's literally all there is to say. At 3-0 down, Tony did then get 1 goal to bring it back to 3-1. We got our hopes up a bit, but ultimately it was just a 4-1 defeat.
Yeah, Tony getting that 4th in 5 games, which was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Flecken could have done anything about the chip.
Yeah. But Man City away, a 1-0 defeat. It was a very close game. We did deserve more than a loss, I felt like. They weren't good at all. Haaland got that goal, obviously, from the Christopher Ayer slip. And what's funny is that I think on Sky Sports a few months later, Ivan Toney did a video. No, Neil Morpie did a video with Thomas Frank, and he said that Ivan Toney put on the group chat on the way home from the game the meme of Gerrard slipping. And so it's good that they could have a laugh about the loss just an hour after. So, you know, it shows that we've got a good squad, but who are good fellas, but no, just another loss.
And yeah, we did well enough that if that hadn't happened, we would have got a draw and got a well-deserved point. Now on to West Ham, where, again, not a very good result. Some bits of good play.
I think we went 2-0 down in like 5 minutes, which is not good at all. The team had a huddle, a regroup. Morpie then brought one back. It was a really good goal in the top corner with he slid in and hit it, but
yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was. The season wasn't going well at this point because in the end, West Ham won 4-2. Wissa got a goal back, and what's interesting, I saw Jay Harris talk about. He said that apparently Reguilon told Thomas Frank, "That's the worst game of football I've ever played in my life." After the game, which isn't great.
Yeah, not what you want to hear from the left back.
But hey, at least he's honest, eh? But yeah, 4-2 loss. Oh well. Brentford 2, Chelsea 2. A draw at home, it is what we needed at this point after 3 losses on the run. I think a draw was good. It felt like we could have won this game. In the first half, we were giving Jackson a lot of shit because he missed a pretty good chance. And he was dribbling 1-on-1 to get into the box. He just fell over the ball, which is a bit embarrassing. And then he ended up getting the goal and he shushed us.
Yeah, and then we got Rozolev got a goal back. And then we continued on from there with a brilliant Wissa goal, probably the highlight of the game.
Mm.
Yeah, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a great goal from Wissa. Bicycle kick. I think it got voted by the fans as goal of the season. In the end, we came flying out that second half. It was really positive, and then unfortunately, Disasi, I think, got a header, equalised, and it was really disheartening. We did enough for the win, but yeah, we didn't get the win.
It was still a hopeful performance, giving us hope for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. It was a performance that can give us hope for the next games.
Yeah, one funny moment was Wissa's 2 previous attempts at a bicycle kick.
Yeah,
But
third try lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, Arsenal away next, and it was a promising start with that Wissa goal.
Yeah.
Created from that Ramsdale mistake and some very high work rates from Wissa, which it's expected.
That's Wissa all over, yeah. It was, as you said, great work rates to get up there, close Ramsdale down quickly. I think Ramsdale lacked a bit of sharpness, so he did then make that mistake. But it was a great moment to be 1-0 up against Arsenal. And then in the second half, when we were still 1-0 up, Tony had an outrageous attempt from the halfway line, which just missed the goal. If that went in, that could have been goal of the season. It was like a chop as well. It was like crazy, but I think Declan Rice then made it 1-1. Then Havertz again in the last minute. Havertz haunts Brentford with that last minute equaliser, keeping Arsenal's title hopes alive. But not a game to remember. What do you think?
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
Yeah, and then another horrible game. Burnley away. Take it away then.
Yeah, so within the first minutes, Reguilon gets himself sent off to give a penalty away, which set up the rest of the game, really.
Yeah. It wasn't really that bad a challenge, but it was just in the box and from behind, and so if it's a penalty, it's then a red card, and then it really set us up badly. And we did manage, I think they made it 2-0, we made it 2-1, and then at the end of the game, I think Tony did score, but the referee gave us a foul on the opposition keeper, which I thought was a bad decision. I understand it, but I think the keeper should be a bit stronger. I think keepers sometimes get protected a bit too much, but
Sometimes
it is what it is.